So I'm back, and as you can see, I look a little different because I combed out my locks. I had my locks in for 3 years, and a night came and I just had this thought of it's time for them to go. And so I got up that night and I started off combing out one to see how long it would take to comb it out and see if it would be hard to take it out. And it didn't seem that hard, so I was like, okay, in the morning I'm just go ahead and start combing them out. So long story short, I got them all out and I feel good about it. My hair may look a little different, but that's not the only thing that has been different about me. So I had an encounter recently, and I was in the stage of isolation, and it has been the best thing that has ever happened to me, literally. I had this encounter that happened, and then the next day God was like, he just took the desire away from me. Get rid of any distractions, including like social media or anything that would distract me. And I went into isolation, and I started getting closer to him, getting in my Bible more. I purchased a brand new Bible, my study Bible that I love and I'm in every day. But yeah, so I'll get into the encounter and everything that happened, but I do want to say this has been one of the best things that has happened to me. Literally, I feel so much closer to God. I feel so much more peaceful. I have learned so much, and this isolation phase has just been amazing for me. God has been dealing with me a lot about a lot of things, a lot of my ways, a lot of other people's ways. He's been showing me a lot. I've been learning a lot about spirits and a lot about, the new age religion that everybody's doing. And I am just so excited, more excited now than ever to be a vessel for God, to speak out and speak to his people, to lead his people back to him where they belong. So if you follow me on any of the platforms, you may know me from my childhood, you may know me from college, you may know me from the military, you may know me from whatever walk of life you may know me from. This is a different me. And I once was, kind of hesitant sometimes about speaking on certain things, but now more than ever, I see why it's necessary to not be embarrassed about being too churchy. Because one thing about me is I'm not all into the different religions and the religion battles and all that type of stuff, but I do have a relationship with God, and I know him for myself, and I've experienced him for myself, and for that reason I will stand by him 100%, and I will do exactly what he needs me to do, no matter who may not like it or who may go missing, or I might lose friends behind it, I might lose followers behind it. I could care less about any of that. As long as I know I'm being obedient to the word of God, that's what I'm going to do. So fair warning, if you feel like I'm going to be annoying to you, because I'm not going to delete anybody, because I feel like however many people I can reach by saying what I need to say, or speaking up on God, what God wants me to speak up on, I'm going to speak up on it. So I'm not going to delete anyone, but I'll allow you the time to delete yourself if you feel like you don't want to see that on your timeline, or you don't want to hear about that. And just to say that if you are one of those people, then it may be because you already know that there's some things that may convict you. And yeah, that's something you got to take up with God yourself. But anyway, yeah, let me get into... So I'll start off by talking about the encounter that I had. I just realized that, excuse me, but I'm going to be picking at my hair a little bit because it kind of looks frizzy to me on this side. But anyway, nevertheless, I'm going to get into the encounter that happened. A little bit of backstory. So I dealt with depression and anxiety for as long as I can remember. Even as a child coming up, I've dealt with depression and anxiety, and it was something that was on me very heavy. And there was like, I always felt this loneliness. I have a huge family, and even with the huge family, I've always felt lonely. I've always felt like I didn't fit in. I always felt like, like the black sheep, so to speak, or whatever. And I always, chalked it off to me being quiet and reserved and not as outgoing as a lot of my family members. It was something that grew up in me. Like, I've always felt like that. And I think that from that, I've always felt like, by myself, or, like nobody really cared that much. Like, I was there, they cared, but they, it wasn't really a big deal. Like, I was there, they cared because I was there, whatever. If that makes sense. But anyway, they cared, but it wasn't like they would care if anything. Like, that's how I felt, but always felt like that. It never went away. When I went off to the military and I went off to basic training in Oklahoma, that was the first time I ever went out. And I didn't realize then when I joined the military, it was a way of seeking approval, make my family proud in some way. And that was the first mistake, trying to do something because you feel like it's going to please someone else. And I convinced myself that it was something I wanted to do. So I wanted them to be, proud. I felt like, they would see me as strong, how I felt myself. And I went off to the military, and when it was time for me to graduate, on my graduation day, the family day, we had a family day before the graduation day, and our family could come, we could spend the day with the family and everything. Prior to then, my family was supposed to be coming, as far as I knew, in the letters, phone calls, and everything, all the way up until like a couple of days before it was time for them to come. They were supposed to come. But then on the week of, then they sent, when I talked to them, they was like, they wasn't sure if they was going to be able to make it or whatever. And in my head, I was, praying and thinking, okay, well, they'll figure something out. They'll figure a way out. And like I said, I do have a big family. I have a big immediate family as well. So I knew that everybody might not have been able to come. But when they started talking about, whether anybody was coming or not, and I was like, at least try to send somebody, at least have somebody there, to be with me, to support me that day. So I wanted to be myself, that type of thing. And when it came to that family day, and we watched all, the cars pulling in and everything, and they had said that they wasn't sure if they were coming, but up until the end, I still wasn't sure if they were coming or not. And in the back of my head, I still was praying that, maybe they will make a way. Somebody is going to be here. They're not just going to leave me like that by myself. So, we get into formation, and then the drill sergeants and everybody, they give the little speech or whatever, tell us what we can and can't do, what time to be back and all that stuff. And they said, fall out to your family. You can fall out to your family. And everybody just fell out of formation and ran to their families, running to their arms with open, being welcomed and hugged and embraced by their family with open arms. And I didn't have anyone there at all. And my heart broke so bad. And that encounter has stuck with me. I think because I had felt that loneliness for so long inside, and I had felt like I didn't matter to anybody enough for them to, support me in the way that I wanted them to support me or anything I did. And in that moment, it was like everything that I had already felt was real. And it was a moment where I could not hold it in. And I just broke down crying. I was at information because I didn't have anybody to run to. I didn't have anybody to embrace me or be happy. I'm looking around, everybody is in tears because they're happy to see their family. Their family's happy to see them. It was me and a few other people that didn't have anybody there. And the other few were guys, and they knew that they wouldn't have anybody there. So they had prepared, to spend their family day in another way or whatever, because some of them didn't invite anybody, some because they were going off to their next training right after, and they didn't feel the need to invite anybody. And so they had prepared, to spend that time together. Most of them were guys. I think it was like 3 of them or something like that, as far as I know. And then there was me. And I'm like, out of all these people, everybody had somebody to show up for them, and there was nobody there for me at all. And I just broke down crying, broke down in tears. I did get a chance to talk to them that day, called my family. And I don't hold that against my family at all. That was something within me. And I spoke with them that day and everything. They knew how upset I was. They know, it hurt. And even, now they knew that it was something that hurt me. But I don't really think that they understood just how bad it hurt and how deeply it affected me. And long-term wise. But I don't hold any of that against them, because like I said, it was something within me. And now that I know, now that I'm older and I understand things better, I know that was something that the enemy wanted, was for me to feel lonely and feel like I didn't have anybody there and stuff. And okay, so getting past that, that was a little bit of backstory. That was something that instantly always made me cry. Like I could bring it up or think about it, and instantly I would be in tears. I mean, like a little kid, like a baby, like somebody who just lost somebody. I would be in tears like that every single time. I couldn't talk about it. Every time I thought about it, I cried. Many nights, it would just come to mind, and I would, be in tears. I moved to Texas a little over 2 years ago now, and I haven't had many people that has come to visit me here. So that feeling kind of came and went, came and gone. And I give everybody the benefit of the doubt. This is in no way bashing anybody, or feeling any type of way about anybody. Because I understand that everybody has their own things going on, and when they can come, they will come. I do understand that. And those who don't think about coming, I don't hold anything against them either. But it was just something that the enemy kept trying to taunt me about, and play in my head about, and say, you don't have anybody. They don't care enough about you to come see you. They don't care enough about you to come visit or be there for you. And look, they have traveled this place and that place to support your other family members, multiple family members in different places, but they don't feel the need to come to you. Why do you think that's so? That's the type of stuff that the enemy will put in my head. And so this night of the encounter, I was laying in the bed, and the enemy put that thought in my head again. And instantly, like always, I started crying. So I was in the bed crying. I was laying there, just feeling defeated, and kind of feeling like maybe this is true. Maybe nobody does care that much. And I heard, just clear as day, "Why aren't you dead yet?" And immediately I knew it wasn't the voice of God. I knew that this was something demonic. And I snapped, like immediately afterwards. I heard God say, "You shall live and not die." And it was like he pulled me, like literally pulled me up out of that. It was like he pulled me up out of that. And I haven't been the same since. Like, it's like whatever that demonic spirit was literally trying to kill me. It literally wanted me dead. And I didn't really tell anybody about it until like weeks later, like last week or something. I think it was last week, and I mentioned it to Travis, and then I mentioned it to my mama. But when I first mentioned it to Travis, God reminded me that wasn't the first time that the enemy has spoken to me, and was after me like that. Some years ago, I heard him say in that same voice, "One wrong move and I'm gonna get you this time." And that same voice was the voice that said, "Why aren't you dead yet?" And I'm not dead because God says, "I shall live and not die." And it was like, God was like, "Okay, this is enough. This is enough. You have, tormented her enough. I'm not going to continue to let my child go through this. I got you. Let me get you up out of this, you know? And that's exactly what he did. And it was like instantly, he was like, you got to go into isolation. You got to eliminate the distractions. You got to get back in tune with me. I got you. Just focus on me. And I'm going to show y'all my board up here, because I actually got that written up on that board, focus. And I wrote that because that's what I was hearing God say, and I didn't want to, you know, become distracted again from what he wanted me to focus on, which was him. And like immediately he took away the desire to do anything that would take my attention away from him. So I got off social media. That was one of the reasons why some of y'all have been messaging me, checking on me, because you haven't seen me posted lately or anything. But I haven't had the desire to get on, and because I just was connecting with God. I'm just in a space with God, you know, taking it all in, taking in all that he's been showing me, all that he's been teaching me. And he's transforming me and preparing me for something bigger than me. And he's had me, you know, speak to a few people from there, but he's also been dealing with me about people, you know, because everybody who has a pretty face does not necessarily have a pretty soul. And there are a lot of people that deal with so much, and they don't know why they're dealing with what they're dealing with, and it's literally demonic. Like the things that they're dealing with are demons and spirits, and just so much that he's been teaching me and showing me. And I got to the point when I'm like, you know, I don't even want to get back on social media because I don't want to lose my focus. And God was like, you go back because I tell you to go back. You'll go back because you got work to do. You got people to speak to. You got things to say. And I didn't pull you into this isolation and tell you all this and bring you closer to me for you to keep it to yourself. There's people that you have to reach to bring to me as well. So if you've seen this video, that's because he's slowly but surely bringing me out of isolation. And I've been praying, you know, that, you know, coming out of this isolation phase, that I don't lose focus. Y'all, the things that he has been doing in my life, in my house, in my mind, I'm gonna speak on it as he tells me to speak on it, because you know it's so much. And then like I don't want to speak on everything because everything is not to be spoken on just yet. But if you don't have a relationship with God, I strongly urge you to get a relationship with God, because like that man is amazing. He is amazing. He's amazing. But yeah, so the enemy literally wanted to kill me. The enemy literally wanted me dead. And I see now why he wanted me dead. I see why he was fighting me so hard. And if some of you may remember, if you follow me on Facebook, I posted a status like a couple months ago, and it was saying how I felt, you know, like something was basically after me, like something was after me or whatever, because I had these attacks that were coming. Like it seems like one thing after another. It was the near drowning experience, the car accident, the lady backing into me in the car, the dreams about the snakes. And I have a story on that too. I have, you know, a lot to speak on about that as well. But I didn't feel like that for no reason. It was because the enemy was literally wanted me gone, wanted me out of here. And so since God has pulled me out of that and told me I shall live and not die, more now than ever, I'm living for him. It doesn't matter what nobody else might think, because we're not here for anybody else. We're here for God. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks, what anybody says, how anybody feels. I'm gonna do what God tells me to be. I'm going to be obedient to the word of God. And that's me getting on this video. That was also another thing, because like I said, I really didn't want to come back, and God was dealing like, no, but y'all gonna see a lot of changes. Like, there are gonna be a lot of changes on social media. Like, y'all gonna see more people coming speaking out on God, and y'all better get in line. Y'all better get in line, because these days and times, it's so much out there, y'all. It's so much, and they're right in our faces, and we just can't see it. But I thank God that He has given me the vision to see things a little bit different, and to see, things for what they are, people for what they are. Resist those demons, and they will flee. But yeah, so I'm back, because little by little, because I'm moving as He said move, and I'm still praying, because I don't want to lose my focus. One thing that He has dealt with me about, made aware to me, is that social media is a stronghold. It has a stronghold on a lot of people. But this time when I come back, I want to make sure that it's His way and it's used for His glory. And so, like I said, if you have a problem with that, then you can freely delete yourself. No hard feelings or anything like that. But y'all will be hearing a lot more from me. Yeah, and that's pretty much all I got to say. I love y'all. Take care of your mind, take care of your body, take care of your soul. And y'all have a good day. Love you.